lineups for both teams. First for San Antonio, Parker and Danny Green are your 1 and your 2. And in the middle, out of Brazil, taken with the 28th pick back in 2008, the 6'11" pivot man, Thiago Splitter. Then there's Kawhi Leonard, and it's Duncan in at the 4-man position. And for Miami, Chalmers and D-Wade are the guards. And playing at the 5, the always versatile 6'11" star big man, able to score inside and out, Chris Bosh. And it's LeBron James, and it's Haslam in at the 4 slot.
Well, you know, with LeBron James as the main post threat on Miami, the outside shooting touch of Chris Bosh fits perfectly to help them space the floor, and he continues to expand his range.
And Miami has possession. LeBron dishes to Wade, and the shot is good.
Tell you what, he is so difficult to guard, especially on a shot like that one.
On defense, Miami, 4-point game. We talk about Bosh in his shooting range. He's trying to develop a reliable 3-point shot as well.
Well, it's happened. In the playoffs last year, he shot a lot of threes. It's kind of a function of the Miami offense, trying to provide floor spacing for LeBron and Wade. But in some ways, it takes Bosh away from what's made him good, too, the slashing and the ability to score around the basket.
And that one's good.
You gotta love the use of the bounce pass there. Perfect feed.
Here are the Spurs with the ball. Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Kevin, I had a chance to talk with head coach Eric Spoelstra. They'll be facing one of the best post players ever to play the game in Tim Duncan. Coach told me that even though Timmy isn't as physically gifted as he once was, he is still a handful to deal with. He said a lot of people forget this, but Tim Duncan is one of the smartest players to ever play and always makes the right decision. We can't be lazy around him.
Thank you, Doris. Manu Ginobili, he's checked in for the Spurs.
The Spurs have always been very mindful of resting key players during the regular season. Some of it has to do with the age of their players. Some of it is regarding talent because they knew they were a playoff team most years. And you look at the research, there is something to be said for not playing guys when they're fatigued because injuries are more likely if you play tired.
And back to the Spurs and their strategy of resting their star players, not without some controversy. The NBA, as you may recall, fined the Spurs and Coach Popovich for sitting all their starting players for a nationally televised game back in November.
Well, it was their 4th game in 5 nights, and Pop wanted to rest some of their guys because of just the nature of their schedule. But I think the problem was he didn't give the league advance warning. In that game against Miami, when he rested those 3 players, he actually sent them home. And I think that was a little shot at the league. And that's why there was a problem, and that's why the Spurs and Popovich ended up getting fined.
Here's Chalmers after the made shot from Splitter. And Chalmers kicks to Haslam. Dishes it to LeBron. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. LeBron's got himself going with the triple, his first basket of the game. Spurs have gone 2 or 3 here to start out the game. Parker passes to Ginobili. Parker. Ginobili with the ball. Feeds it to Duncan. 5 on the clock. Shot from the wing. Not enough on that one as it misses.
Well, I tell you what, Greg Popovich, a really impressive leader for the Spurs. He's able to keep all of his players locked into what's best for the team. Has a military background, played basketball and studied at the Air Force Academy before serving 5 years in the Air Force. And you know some of the leadership that he brings to his position was learned from his past experiences.
Oh, he's going to keep banging those home if you give him that much space.
Wade gets a screen from Bosh, and it's Wade penetrating. Pass to Chalmers. The 3. Ginobili grabs the board. And Clark, you mentioned Pop's time at the Air Force Academy. That's where he got his start in the coaching ranks.
Yeah, 6 years as an assistant there. He was head coach of Pomona, an assistant coach with the Golden State Warriors and the Spurs, and eventually moved into the front office in San Antonio. But wow, what an amazing run it's been for him. 17 years as the head coach of the Spurs.
The feed now to Parker. Here's Duncan. Count the bucket.
Well, that's how you pick up second chance points. Stay active, be energetic, and react as soon as the shot goes up.
And Chalmers kicks to LeBron. Back to Chalmers. Haslam, a screen on Parker. LeBron outside. Goes up from the top of the key. And it's wide right. Hits off the rim.
Much has been made about the show LeBron puts out during games, but he also puts on a spectacle in his pregame routine. Last season, he and others started pulling out all the stops and dunking in the pregame warm-up in an effort to break a sweat.
Now here's LeBron following the miss by Tony Parker. And that one's good by Bosh.
Really good example there of some fine interior passing before that basket.
And San Antonio calls the first timeout of the game. And Clark, you mentioned the pregame dunks for LeBron, a devastating finisher. Some have asked why he's never competed in the All-Star Slam Dunk competition. In fact, I say that every Saturday night I'm sitting on that microphone. Why isn't LeBron in this competition?
Wouldn't it be nice? In fact, I think, didn't Magic Johnson even put up a $1 million incentive for him to compete? Yeah, it would be incredible to see him. I don't know. I think it's become almost a chore for players these days to enter, but it would be fantastic to see him out there.
And so here is Miami. Manu Ginobili getting his three to go. Allen for three, and the shot is good. Allen's got himself on the board with three there.
Well, Allen is the all-time leader in three-pointers made past Reggie Miller a couple of years ago, so obviously you have to worry about him out there. But what makes Allen so good is that he can also put the ball on the floor, get into the paint, and score at that mid-range area as well.
And he really has a fondness for those corners. I mean, you just can't help off of him. Too much of a threat from out there. You've got to stay connected to him.
San Antonio on defense. Following the three from Ray Allen. Cole dishes to LeBron. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. LeBron's got 7 points in the game.
Their offense already flowing. Some stellar shooting while jumping out to this lead.
Well, high-quality shots, and they've been on target with them.
And Parker backs down. He kicks it to Diaw. He feeds it to Bellinelli. Good, and it's Diaw with the assist that time. Bellinelli's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for three. Here's Cole. And the call will be against Tony Parker. That's foul number 2 for him.
And that's 2 fouls for him very early in this ball game. He'll probably have to spend some time on the bench before halftime.
Green against LeBron. For Miami, they have gone 1 of 3 at the line here. And the first one at the line is good. San Antonio making a switch here. And both free throws good for LeBron. Here's Parker. Fires for 3. Offense, the order of the day as the first quarter comes to a close. And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. And a closer look here at the hustle stats for the Heat.
And they've come out in attack mode defensively, applying pressure and stealing the ball repeatedly.
The other thing that's helped them early tonight are the points they've been able to convert off turnover.
Outside, Bellinelli. That is good. Bellinelli's got the opening field goal of the second quarter for the Spurs.
You know, no denying it's been a heck of a run the last few years for the Heat, but you can't help but wonder if the impending 2014 summer of free agency could be the end of it all. The big three came together in a flash of lightning, it seemed, but it could end just as fast if one or all decide to opt out.
Let's go to our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, what do you have?
Gentlemen, there is no doubt Chris Bosh has taken his share of criticism in Miami. People call them, quote, the big 2.5, saying he hasn't lived up to that top billing. But for Eric Spoelstra, he said he is our most important player. We've said that for 3 seasons. He allows everything to work on both ends of the court. Guys, you think about it, offensively, he's a floor spacer and an offensive rebounder. And defensively, he anchors the Heat inside. Spoelstra called him, quote, a perfect fit for their system.
He's got the length factor to be sure. Thanks, Doris. A different look now for San Antonio. Splitters checked in for Matt Bonner. And it's Duncan in for Boris Diaw. And we play just over a minute of basketball here in the second quarter. And Clark, as you were saying, the trio of LeBron, Wade, and Bosh all have options in their contracts to become free agents in 2014 if they choose to. And Steve, you have to think that at least one or two of them might exercise that right.
Well, you know LeBron will, because he's the most underpaid athlete probably in the history of sports. He's worth 10 times what he makes. But it's going to be interesting to see what Miami does here the next couple of years with their roster.
Here's Allen, following the score by Tony Parker. Cole, the pass away. 6 on the shot clock. Tries from 10, and the shot is good. Wade's got his third basket of the night.
Well, Kevin, he's got such a great focus as a shooter. He's a very frustrating player to guard because unless you actually block his shot, you are not going to get in his head and affect him.
Steve, it has to be said here that he operates the pick and roll to perfection. I mean, he delights in running unwitting defenders or blindside picking guys so that he can end up rolling into a basket.
Here's Cole, covered by Parker. Here's Cole. Out to Battier. No luck. Now San Antonio takes it the other way. Leonard on the wing. Shoots the three. Offensive rebound. A second chance effort. And he draws body contact. Looked like a blocking foul, and he was in the shooting motion. So he'll head to the free throw line. Ray Allen picks one up.
And as you might expect for the team with the second best record in the West, the Spurs dominated the East last season, played each team twice for a total of 30 games, and went 25-5 in that stretch.
First free throw is good. And Clark, back to what you said about the Spurs and the East, it was far and away the best record against the conference, Steve, for a team in the West.
Yeah, the second best record was Memphis with 22 wins. So kind of scary to think that they rested their big stars a few times against teams in the East, and they were still able to put up that kind of a record.
Both free throws good from Bellinelli.
Well, Miami stormed through the regular season and were viewed as the clear-cut favorites to come out of the East, but it was not as easy as expected. After sweeping Milwaukee, the Bulls gave them a scare. Then the Pacers really took them deep all the way to Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals.
And San Antonio has possession after the miss from Haslam. Duncan kicks to Bellinelli for the three, and it's Leonard. That time on the assist by Bellinelli. Leonard's got himself going there, his first points of the game on the deep ball. And for the Heat, the Pacers were their first real test, it seemed, and they had to survive a win or go home against him. It almost seemed, Clark, to take away any momentum they might have had when they went up against the Spurs in the finals.
You know, it's interesting. When I think of momentum in the playoffs, it doesn't carry over from game to game or series to series. I think each game, Kevin, is really an entity in and of itself. That said, Miami found a way, despite being pushed by the Pacers and being pushed by the Spurs, both to Game 7. It came down to LeBron James's brilliance, but also the hot shooting of a complimentary role-playing winner, Shane Battier.
Chalmers dishes the box. And that comes off the assist by Mario Chalmers. Chalmers has got his third assist on the night. Here's San Antonio now. They're on a 12-4 run.
You know, Miami went to that smaller lineup last season, and a big change in that was having Chris Bosh move over to the 5 spot. Not his natural position, but I thought he held his own both offensively and defensively playing in the middle.
From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Well, gentlemen, head coach Eric Spoelstra of the Miami Heat finally getting the respect he deserves now with their multiple championships. But his players, not afraid to rib him a little. Dwayne Wade said Spoelstra's favorite word? Focus. He said, here's what it sounds like to play for my coach. Come on, guys, we have to focus. Next game. Come on, guys, it's about focus. Game 82. Guys, it's about focus. Kevin, it's all about that consistent message, right?
A steady hand, Doris. The players seem to really appreciate it. Spurs trail by 3. And for Bosch, playing the center, Steve, he's giving up some weight out there.
But he's a very smart defender. He avoids fouls, and the way the league is these days, Kevin, most teams play smaller, and Bosch can normally find a center that he can guard without too much trouble. But there are a few matchups around the league that are a problem.
Well, we got the speed and the pressure of that Miami defense. You think they're able to compensate for any lack of size inside by using those other things.
Yeah, that's normally the case against, I would say, the vast majority of the league.
For Miami, they have missed 2 free throws in the game, going 5 for 7.
Only 3 teams in the entire Eastern Conference had a better than 500 record against the West, and no surprise the Heat were one of those 3, and they were dominant against Western Conference opponents all year long.
Manu Ginobili's checked in for Bellinelli. Gets it to go. 9 points for Manu Ginobili. The Heat have gone 4 of 7 from the field in the second quarter so far. Wade passes to Allen. There's the double team with Ginobili. Chalmers covered by Parker. And Chalmers kicks to Haslem. Back to Chalmers. Heat moving the ball around. Clock at 6. That's good. Mark, adding on to what you were saying about the Heat versus the West, they ended up 25-5, which is incredible, Steve, given how many tough teams that are in the Western Conference.
That's amazing, Kevin. They had a better record against the West than they did against the East in terms of their winning percentage. So I think that speaks to just how motivated Miami was when they went out on the road to the West in particular to really show everybody how good they were.
And here is Chalmers. Manu Ginobili getting his 3 to go. Leonard with the steal. And a fast break now for the Spurs. And the dunk to finish it off. A beauty.
Boy, I love it. Active hands on the steal, active feet on the fast break.
And Clark power on the dunk.
And guys, this is just too close of a game to be giving the ball up like that and then failing to get back in transition.
Now Chalmers. Back to Wade. 4 seconds left. And that comes off the assist by Mario Chalmers. Chalmers has got 5 assists in the game. Parker can't get it to go. Close game as we wrap up the second quarter. Spurs lead by 3. Back
now, presented by Sprint.
Welcome to the
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
And a bird's eye view of the American Airlines Arena, nestled on the waters of Biscayne Bay, as we return to South Florida. It's been one outstanding game from Manu Ginobili.
Yeah, he played a very mature first half offensively, just finding gaps and making good decisions, getting into the defense and knocking down shots.
Well, the way he played that first half, that's exactly what we're talking about when we say offensive efficiency.
You know, they've been so effective when they've been able to get the ball inside.
Some real shortcomings from this defense. I mean, they've given up 5 straight looks in the paint.
And Tony Parker really was more of a scoring point guard than a passing one early in his career, but his assist numbers have gone up. Greg Popovich, throughout Parker's career, has been on him to distribute and to become more of a true point guard. And I think he has found that balance over the last couple seasons.
Green, no luck.
This is why you need size inside, the ability to contest shots and force misses.
Steve, that's exactly right. Even when you get in close, it's still a tough shot.
The Heat trail by 3. Now Chalmers. He's got 5. He dishes it to Wade. Knocks it loose.
Well, the defender was so close to him on that pump fake that he just took the ball out of his hands.
The pass to Green. Parker outside. This one for three. Rebound by Mario Chalmers. Tony Parker just now entering his 30s. He's still got plenty of basketball, though, ahead of him.
Yeah, he started early, 19 years old, I think, when he came into the league, Kevin. So he's a guy that grew up under the direction and firm hand and sometimes hard hand of Greg Popovich, and now is thriving in an environment that's been championship caliber in every way.
Here's Duncan. LeBron with the block.
1 for 5 on offense. A slow start here in the second half.
Here's Leonard. San Antonio again missing. Miami trailer. Chalmers dishes to Haslam. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Spurs will take it. Matt Bonner, he's checked in for the Spurs. Two minutes into the second half of play now. San Antonio leading by 3.
A dramatic improvement for the San Antonio Spurs defensively last season, guys. Coach Pop had suggested that they might have gotten too old to be an elite defensive team anymore, but that wasn't the case. I think he challenged them a little bit, and they raised the bar of their defensive performance.
Back to LeBron. Smooth as silk on the finger roll. LeBron's got 13.
Great move to the hoop, and I love the finger roll finish.
And Clark, you mentioned the defensive improvement of the Spurs. Going into last season, their stat gurus told them they needed to focus even more on contesting shots, even if that meant committing more fouls or allowing more offensive rebounds.
Well, that's exactly what they did, Kevin. They gave up a few more offensive rebounds, fouled slightly more than they had the prior season, but they were better in terms of shot blocks, steals, and they held their opponents to a lower field goal percentage. So a great example of getting an edge from advanced stats.
Green passes to Bonner. Back to Green. Outside Leonard. A 3-ball. And it's Miami with the rebound. Laid outside. Just under 3.5 minutes played here in the third quarter. For the lead. Rebound by Tony Parker.
That's a shot that he sometimes struggles with, but you can't fault him for taking it when the defense backs off like that.
Fires the 3. Offensive rebound. Here's Bonner. So the whistle blows on the shot, and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Well, the Red Rocket, as they call him, one of the best outside shooting big men that we've seen in this league the last few years. You cannot leave him open outside defensively.
Yeah, classic shooting 4-man. His game is to spot up at the three-point line and wait for the open look. That free throw, no good.
And what an amazing run it was for the Spurs last year in the postseason. Swept the Lakers, survived Golden State, and then dismantled Memphis on their way to the NBA Finals. And then, of course, were seconds away from another championship banner.
Udonis Haslem, he's checked in for Miami. Norris Cole comes in for Mario Chalmers. Well, getting back to the Spurs, they look better and better as they went deeper into the playoffs, Clark. Heat were thought to be the heavy favorites at the start of the NBA postseason. But when they met in the finals, thoughts on who would win, I think, were pretty much split.
Yeah, and eventually, this was one heck of a series because the Spurs not only had experience and talent, but they had multiple options offensively and did such a terrific job sharing the ball. They took the Miami Heat to the limit, but at the end of the day, it came down to LeBron James and Dwayne Wade rising to the challenge.
That's the way to get some momentum on your side.
Absolutely. Those dunks can really have a deflating effect on the defense.
Yeah, especially coming from a guy out of the backcourt.
It's Parker with the drive. They kick it out to Green. Pass to Leonard to stop the drought. And the basket good. Leonard's got 8 points.
Fellas, he just is struggling to get anything going. Right now, his shooting percentage in the quarter, 20%. Boy, this is a neat story, guys. Danny Green was undrafted out of North Carolina. And another nice find for perhaps the best organization in all of sports, the San Antonio Spurs. He's an excellent three-point shooter, over 40% from three-point range for his career. He helps that team spread the floor, and that energizes their high-powered offense.
And he uses the glass on the layup. 9 points for Tony Parker.
That is a terrific effort on the shot. He's giving up a lot of size, but still finds a way to score.
I don't think that affected him in the least, though, Steve. I mean, he made it look like he was the bigger guy.
Wade gets a screen from Hazard. Green with the block.
And a 2-for-1 opportunity.
Yeah, they got to hurry. Step on the gas here.
Lets the three fly. And it's Haslam with the rebound. For Miami, they've gone 4 of 9 from the floor so far in the third. Wade kicks to Cole. Pass to Haslam. Here's Anderson, and he goes strong with the one-handed jam.
Boy, what a throwdown after doing a great job to corral the rebound.
Well, you know, there aren't that many players with a better nose for the ball than him.
Agreed.
And with the D always scattered after an offensive rebound, he knows exactly how to get that to work for him.
At the Welcome back as we get rolling once more. The fourth quarter right ahead in what's been a very well-contested game. And the Heat shooting a superb 63% from the field. Bosch kicks to Wade. The feather touch on the finger roll. Beautiful. Wade's got the first basket as we get going in the fourth for the Heat. San Antonio trailing here. Parker outside. Ellenelli. Back to Parker. Here's the three. And it's Miami with the rebound. LeBron's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. That's good. And the Heat lead by 4.
Another bucket in the paint. That's something they just have not been able to stop today.
I think it's time to make some adjustments defensively, Park. I mean, what they've got going right now is not getting it done.
And Parker backs down. It's tipped. Stolen by Wade. Puts the lead pass in front of him. Ripped away. Parker against Chalmers. Kicks to Bellinelli. Back to Parker. Jacks up a three. Parker with another miss.
He's still looking for his first three-pointer of the second half after making just one in the first.
LeBron with it. Now Green defending. The drive by LeBron. Tim Duncan grabs the miss. Duncan's got rebound number 8 now on the night.
You know, they haven't been able to open up a big lead, but the rebounds are starting to add up for them. They may be able to pull away a little bit.
Yeah, they've been doing the dirty work inside, Steve, playing a very tough brand of basketball.
Battier outside for 3. Yes, and it's LeBron picking up the assist. They got on this roll a while ago, and they just haven't looked back. And a chance now to catch up on some numbers here. The hustle stats for Miami.
Boy, defensively, they've played with a high energy level, guys, and all the steals we've seen, really a result of that aggressiveness.
They've repeatedly gotten out on the break tonight as well and scored a lot of baskets in transition. That's terrific defense right there to prevent from converting in close.
Duncan kicks to Green. Will it go? Great tee that time from Chalmers. Miami leading by 7. Wade up top, covered by Parker. Shot, high post, gets it to go. 15 points for Dwayne Wade.
And he should thank the defense for those 2 points. Really, nobody paid him any mind there.
Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Thanks, guys. I was able to hear Greg Popovich coaching his team during that last break. He actually lit into them pretty heavily, saying, we're being way too soft on the inside. I better start to see some toughness and more shots being challenged. No more easy baskets. Pretty strong words, guys.
Thanks, Doris. The Heat have gotten 4 of their 6 shots to fall so far here in the fourth. A pretty nice efficiency there. Chalmers. An easy layup after coming off the pick. And now an 11-point Heat lead.
Really not hard to see why they're giving up points on this run. I mean, they've just given them too many looks inside.
Yeah, I mean, they're just getting pounded in there. The defense not offering much resistance. They've got to force the ball back out to the perimeter.
Wade outside. He passes to LeBron. And he jams it after taking the nice feed on the run.
Impressive play there, and they have been really good offensively.
Piling up the points en route to this big lead, guys. I mean, they've been unstoppable.
Hangs in the air. Splitter misses.
They're losing their composure a little bit here on the bad end of a run.
Yeah, they are, and they need to come up with a rally-wrecking play here to stop this run.
Bosch with the bucket.
And now we can see them really working it inside.
Taking advantage of the defense, really pounding it down low.
Green, covered by LeBron. Duncan kicks to Green to end the drought. Sinks it. What range from outside. Wow.
You know, offensively, he's just one of those guys that needs a touch of space to get his shot off. That's all. And if he runs his man off a screen or somehow finds an opening, that's it. He's going to let that thing go.
And offensively, you'll find him often lurking on those corners. Always a high percentage shot among three-pointers, and especially for him.
Spurs trail by 12. Dish now to Parker. Outside, Green. That doesn't go either for Green.
He's killing them with his poor shooting. The defense is more than willing to give him those shots now.
Bosch dishes to Wade. Lets a floater go. That's good.
He's created some good opportunities for himself and made the most of them.
San Antonio's gotten some tough luck from three-point range. In the fourth quarter, they've hit just 1 of 6 from deep. Here's Duncan. It's stolen by Hauser. LeBron outside. Dishes to Haslam. Chalmers. Good ball movement here by Miami. Wade fires off the left rim and out.
That's not a sight you see very often. I mean, he has a great feel for that jump shot, especially when he's open.
There's Green with the three. Gets it to go.
The defenders need to talk to each other. The communication lacking there on that three-pointer.
And Chalmers kicks to Bosch. Feeds to Wade. Has him down low. Duncan on him. That's good.
Well, they're going to walk out of here with a win and send this crowd home happy.
A very solid performance in a lot of areas for them.
We've got a 9-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. And Green gets it to go.
They are killing them with that three-point shot here in the second half.
Well, the defense fully stretched out trying to stop that shot and still not able to get it done.
Chalmers against Parker. Now, here's Chalmers. Defense is right there, and he finishes nicely on the layup.
And a terrific run to really put this ball game away.
And now let's see how many more points they can throw up there before the horn sound.
Hope they get it back. It's a 2 from Parker. No good there. And so Miami takes this one by a big margin. You know, Clark, every team has a bad night.